Hello, welcome to lesson 2.3. Here's your objective. I will be able to write percents as decimals and vice versa. Basically, if you can do this, and if you can do this, swooping 2 to the left and 2 to the right, you're going to be successful today. If not, I guess we'll have to have a conversation. But I think you'll be able to handle this pretty well. The trick is remembering when to swoop to the left and when to swoop to the right. All right, let's get swooping. All right, write percents as decimals. So we're starting off with a percent, which if you remember from last time is always out of 100 as a fraction. So 48% is 48 over 100. Just a quick review from yesterday. All right, but to turn 48% into a decimal, we swoop 2 to the left, okay? So I'm not quite sure why I have 48% up there twice, but let's just write it over here. 48%. I want to turn into a decimal. Now, there's always a hidden decimal right there, okay? It's 48.0%. So I could really write this as 48 and 0/10% if I wanted to. All right, there's a hidden decimal there. Can you see it? All right, good. Now, to make it into a decimal, we swoop 2 to the left. So it would be 1, 2. And you have 48 hundredths. All right, and we also probably already knew that due to the fact that 48% was 48 out of 100, so we knew it was 48 hundredths. All right, so you swoop 2 to the left. We'll have a poster up here reminding you of that, but you swoop 2 to the left when you're going from a percent to decimal. All right, so let's try a few. 56%. I'm going to write nice and big up here. 56%. And I might recommend rewriting that as 56 and 0/10%. And we swoop 2 to the left. 1, 2. And there it is. The answer is 56 hundredths. And if you wanted to do it the other way, you could have written 56% as 56 over 100. And you now know, if you read that as 56 hundredths, you write 56 hundredths. Okay, what about 8%? 8% is 8.0%. Now if I'm going to swoop 2 to the left, here's a little difference here. 1, 2. And I have an empty egg. I got to fill that egg by annexing a 0. So I move 2 to the left and it becomes 8 hundredths. Because if you think about it, 8% would have been 8 out of 100. And you read that as 8 hundredths. Okay? So if you wrote 8/10 down, you would have been wrong. It's 8 hundredths. And the last one, 108% over 100%. Now 108% is really what? Let's erase this up here. 108% is really 108.0%. Okay, if we're always swooping to the left, 1, 2. Now your new decimal is 1 and 8 hundredths as a decimal. Okay, I know it's hard to see my decimals there. I got to write a little bigger. 1 and 8 hundredths. And if you're thinking about it the other way, 108% is 108 out of 100. All right, so that means you're bigger than 1. All right, because 100 over 100 would equal 1.0. All right, so now you're 1.08. All right, pretty easy. Swooping to the left. If you could do that, you'll be fine. But now, this is going to be extremely hard, or quite the opposite. We're writing decimals as percents. So we swooped 2 to the left before. Now when decimals are going back to percents, we just swoop to the right. All right? So 1, 2, and then I have 36%. You have to remember to add the percent sign in afterwards. All right? So 36 hundredths is, I can even write it as 30, I have it down there. I could have 36 hundredths equals 36%. I can go back and forth all day. So if I go back this way, it just becomes a decimal, and I erase my percent sign. All right, so just swooping 2 to the right. Let's try a few here. I hope you can see my decimal up there. If you can't, I'll rewrite my decimals nice and big. All right, 2 to the right. 1, 2. I just have 38%. 2/10. So I'm going to rewrite it over here. 2/10. I have to swoop 2 to the right. 1, 2. I have something. I erase my decimal now, and I have to fill in my egg, and I have 20%. All right, so 0.2 is not 2%. It's 20%. And last one down here, 2 to the right, 1 and 39 hundredths, 1, 2. I have 139%. Going back, I would have just swooped to the left, turn it into a decimal, and be 1.39, and erase my percent sign. All right, so we're just swooping right and left. You just have to remember when, which. So when you're going from decimal to percent, swoop 2 to the right. When you're going percent to decimal, 2 to the left. Now it's your turn. You have 4 problems total for number 1. Write each percent as a decimal. 27%, you're going to swoop it 2 to the left. 4%, 2 to the left. You might have to annex a 0 there. I think you will. Now number 2, write each decimal as a percent. 2 to the right. 2 to the right. I think you got this. We'll see you soon.